So we just had the arena boats out on the water. Let's take a look and see how they did. So we are post-morteming the arena boats. We've got a persistent leak with all of them. This foam gasket, I don't know. I just don't know. The lids are so thin on the bottom, I don't think they're making a proper seal around the bottom here. So when the boats flood out, it allows water into the electronics compartment. I think what would be ideal though, and Logan suggested this, is grabbing one of those S3 waterproof boxes, little ones, and just making them a module that drops in just like that. And then that way, you know, they would actually be modular. You could swap them between boats and everything.
It would make repairs easy, and all of those boxes have been bulletproof for us.
Yeah. And they're rated to like 80 feet of depth and stuff. It'd be like pretty cool. And then we wouldn't need to seal any of all the way around there, anything. All of the seals would be engineered by another company. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyhow, I mean, they worked awesome. What do you think?
It was fun, but man, I chose red as mine, which has a fan tip, and that fan tip is not very good. It barely clears over other boats, so I had a competitional disadvantage due to my choice, but it was a ton of fun otherwise.
Yeah, we got all these different nozzles. We had the same nozzle tilted vertically, actually worked pretty good. It gives you more of a like range thing.
Well, it also means that you have like more options, and you can actually get like an arcing shot into another boat. There's a few designs that we saw that just didn't feel very practical. There was the thin hose, which had like 6 feet of range, but such a tall arc.
Yeah, you never be able to hit anything.
However, the three nozzle vertical, that one was incredible. That one worked good.
Yeah,
that one
vertically oriented. Yeah, because then you got the range thing. So at any rate, you can see Logan is grabbing our air hose here. We're going to blow out all the electronics, make sure that everything is good, dry them out really, really good, do final test. I am going to get with the guy that commissioned these. We're going to try and formulate a game plan about what we're going to do for those seals. Try and figure something out. But that's going to wrap up today's work because now I got to go heavy into videos. I got to do the Typhoon video, and I have to do the shark video, and I have to do the arena boat video for the customer. So videos all over the place. I'll shut it down now and pick things up tomorrow. All right, it is Tuesday morning, and we have been busy already. Logan's tested all of our arena boats, and they're all still fully functional and good to go from yesterday's battle in the water, which was super fun. But we've got some things we're doing here. We're adding some flotation foam inside the hull in an effort to bring the water level when flooded back up to about this point as opposed to this point. And then the other thing that I'm doing right now is I'm printing out a flange that we're going to be gluing to the bottom of the bridge so that when this goes down over top, it's sealing not just on a little tiny face barely on the inside of this area, but against the whole surface. So hoping that that will make a much more robust seal for our project. So that's on the printer right now, along with a little cap for the little hole that used to be for the LED light. And that done, we'll throw this back in the pond and see, or in the pool, and see how it's working. And then what's Logan working on?
I've got the bridge in a bit of a sorry state. on this end, and I am in the middle of trying to sand off all of the filler that I added on so that these look nice, get the corners squared up so that they look nice. Then we're going to figure out a way to attach these.
Oh, I actually kind of like your idea of running bolt back in here. So just so for everyone's knowledge, our thought is that when this is run as an RC model, it'll just have this, because this is really heavy. This is all solid resin. It's gonna affect the trim quite a bit. So we're thinking you just put this on for display and then remove it for RC, and should be cool. It looks so cool, you know, looking at it from this direction to see that whole interior. It looks different from the pictures that we found online though. Hey, like this looks huge, like seriously huge.
Yeah, looking at all the pictures, like the little desk at the front is like almost half of the front of the bridge.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. I think this is a case where, you know, they built the set so that it looked good, but then when you put it in the actual boat from like the blueprints, they're like, holy cow, that's like the entire width of the whole submarine. So yeah. Today, hopefully, I'll have a chance to disassemble Seahund, to take stock of where we're at in terms of linkages, ballast, drive shaft, all of that stuff. We've got a big OTW dive module that powers this thing. We're going to need to clean things up for this in terms of the linkages and such. There was a lot of slop, if I remember correctly, when I saw this at Subfest earlier. And then we need to disassemble all of the torpedoes. It's highly possible I may need to reprint the stern so that we have functioning rudders. So I have to see how that goes, because it is all just glued right now. Solid. Well, that is where we're at right now. Shark's going to get paint touched up and then going to get boxed up and ready for the new owner. And we're hard on to Seaview here. I got some filler on that on the dive planes, and we're going to be popping this thing open and working on some drive trains and all of that stuff. So should be a fun day. Wednesday morning, back in the shop. I worked on the arena boats. Mixed up some very soft durometer rubber, and we're pouring it in this lip on the inside in an effort to create a functional seal in here. So this is kind of our last ditch effort to try and make this work. Installed some more foam on the inside here. So once this all gets cured up in about 5 hours, we're going to throw it back in the water again. In the meantime, I have been working on Seaview, and more details about what I'm doing will be in the specific Seaview video, Chapter 2. That should be dropping here about the same time that this weekly update video comes out. But just in general, cleaning up the lower hull, stopping this travesty of squirrel-chewed hull in the bottom, getting it cleaned up, making it look super awesome. And then in the meantime, Logan's working on the bridge. It's looking like really slick. I love this. I can't wait to throw some LED lights in there. That's going to look super awesome. Hold up the other side there too.
Yeah, I haven't had or made as much progress, but I've got floor and I've got chairs. I started on adding like a base silver coat on all of the controls, but I'm still planning on going back. I'm going to be adding white highlights to all of the instrument panels, and I've got a little bit of progress. I'm adding little...
Oh yeah, little colors in the back corner there.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to extend pretty well all the way down, and the little dials can have their own color.
Yeah.
It's actually surprisingly quick to add just a little splash of color, so it shouldn't take me too long to finish this up, and then I'll move on to this.
Good deal. Yeah, so I'm going to be chewing on Seaview here, cleaning everything up, getting it look good. This shop is going to be dusty as all hell here by the end of the day, but necessary evil will make it all happen. It is Thursday. Back in the shop, and we've been busy. It's 8:45 here right now. This morning, took the arena boat out with the seal that we had poured inside. And this is a really soft durometer rubber that we used to create those internal seals. And you can see there's like a lip inside here. And that's where we poured the seal material. And that's how it was originally designed by Eli, the gentleman who's got us working on this. It did not work. Unfortunately, the deck is just too soft, I guess, too warped. It's really thin, which is great. It's just it can't hold shape for the seal to press against. So we got some more foam in there. It's floating at a nice place, but from a sealing perspective, that's not going to work. So we're regrouping with him. We're going to figure out what we're going to do in that particular case. Also spent some time on Seaview. Sanded and primed the areas that I started. Now this is like stage 1 of the repair. You guys remember at this point there was like a big ugly intake in there, so that's all cleaned out, replaced, filled, and we're rebuilding that. But all the rest of these actually turned out really good. A little bit right here we need, but this is all looking good, because I think we're going to scribe the doors so they still look like there was something there. And then I started working out some of the watertight box, which is going to house the receiver, the pitch controller, the air pump. That's what we got going on right here. Batteries look like they're going to need to live in the wet because there's just not enough room to put inside this watertight box. There's my 4 solenoids for the ballast system. It's coming along well. And then you must be getting close on these.
Yep, I'd say I've got about 2 or 3 more details that I'd like to go over.
Oh, that's cool. Look at those little radar or sonar or screeny things. Oh, yeah.
Only 2 major things I got left that I want to do are I'm going to go over the screens and just give them like a black glossy finish so it just looks like they're turned off. And I started on this up, but I have to wait until the paint dries. But I believe this is not like a targeting system, but like a mapping system.
Mapping, yeah.
I thought it would be kind of cool to give it like a deep blue look as if it was already emulating the ocean, and then I was dry brushing it in silver to give it like that radar ping.
Usually, if I remember correctly, they were like transparent with green lines on them. But at any rate, like this is the direction people are going to be looking at it in. So nobody is ever going to see it, unfortunately, unless we pull the whole thing out. So just make it look cool. Mm-hmm. Just make it look cool. That is so awesome. You've been working on this, what, a couple days now, hey?
Yeah.
Lots of work, but man, oh man, looks so cool. I love those little tape machines in the back corner there. They turned out really neat. So yeah, we're making good progress. We're gonna keep slugging away on Seaview here and wait back for Eli to find out what the heck we're doing with all of these. And then if we run out of time for things or things to do with this because it's like drying, for example, we're going to start thinking about cracking into Sea Hound. By the way, Ed Tortle, Sub Ed Tortle is coming out tomorrow, so I'm super excited to see Ed. He's going to be working on one of these things too, so he's got all sorts of ideas he wants to float past us for that. And then on Saturday, we're going back up to Houston for the sub run that we usually do. So we'll have some footage and pictures from that, and we are going to bring Chuckles the Shark. Going to have his public debut at the pond in Sylvan Rodriguez Park. So if you're in the Houston area, by all means, come on out. Love to see you. It's Friday morning, and got a little work done on the arena boats. Got some more work done on Seaview. But we've got a guest here today. Sub Ed Tortle, all the way from Midlothian, Texas, which is just north of Hobbitsville.
Yes.
Is here, and we're playing today. We're just going to have fun. It's Friday. But he brought his shark, not to be confused with that shark, but he brought his shark, and we're going to play with torpedoes. This is Ed's design based on, I guess, some designs from other people. And
oh, it's absolutely derivative of the work Mike Dory did, that Dave Merriman did. So I thought, I'm not as capable as these two gentlemen, especially back then. But then with the advent of the 3D printer, both filament and resin, I was able to begin to make parts. Also, everybody tended to lean towards that World War II style with the fins. I'm more of a modern Cold War era Mark 48 torpedo. So the challenge was being able to replicate a tail cone that had a sort of propulsor-like look to it. So anyway, so my idea is this. Without trying to make it as simple as possible, I resin print this part and use a aluminum tube that has the precise ID of the 1/16 O-ring OD. Okay? And when you cut it with a tubing cutter, you get that little flare. That's all it holds.
retains it, yep.
That's the only thing. Plus, there are 3 O-rings here. That makes it more reliable, so there's no gas slipping past. Plus, once it's charged, it really stays on. The other thing I decided to do, I went with a lower pressure fuel. I went with butane.
So Ed and I went back and forth on this a bit, and he did a bunch of research. So we know, some of you are saying, it's explosive, you're going to blow your boat up. And we say, BS.
BS.
No, and why is that?
Okay. Because you've already been doing it for 30 years since we gave up Freon and went to Propel. Propel, if you look up the material data safety sheet, has the same flammability rating as butane. In fact, Propel, it's a diurethylene or something like that. Also, they have a trade secret ingredient of that, but mixed with butane. I'm sorry. So it has the same flammability rating and also the same rate of burn index. So you've been using this without knowing it since the early 90s. The testament to that is we have an excellent
Safety record.
We do,
Yep.
without even knowing it.
Because everybody's been using it in their ballast systems and torpedo systems
I've smoked cigars around my boat.
for decades.
But the beauty of it, this is...
Cheap, so cheap.
And it's 30 PSI, which is
as
about
opposed
half.
to like 80, or whatever, yeah.
About half. So the 3 O-rings. So the idea here is this system too, what's going to happen is all I do is have a servo pull that off the end, and off she goes. Okay? So load them up. It's as simple as that. That's tube 1 loaded. Tube 2 loaded. The weapons are loaded. And to fill them, it's as simple as this. Right now, the smoking lamp is off. But all kidding aside, this is no more dangerous than you guys already been doing for 30 years. And please, don't believe me. Don't take me at my word. Look up the material data safety sheet for Propel. Okay, so with that, the model is on. Okay. And now, using the trusty radio, I'm going to arm the weapons.
All right, yeah. Hold. We need to make a torpedo catching device. Hold on 1 second. All right, we've got our torpedo catching apparatus.
Okay. Through the beauty of logic switches, I use these two to fire the weapons. This is tube 1. This is tube 2. But as you can see, they're going nowhere because they're not armed yet.
Man battle stations torpedo.
Weapons are now armed, and we'll go with the dry fire test, I guess. 2-1 launch.
2-1, aye sir. Shoot 2-3, aye sir.
Pretty cool. You can actually see it boiling off on the inside there. It's pretty neat. And you said you designed these so that when they expel all of their fluid, they should just kind of...
Yeah, we're going to find out in the pool in a little while.
Okay.
I haven't had it in the water yet, so I figured if anybody can solve some technical problems or have some discussion at this afterwards, you come to Bob's place.
And you know what I'm impressed with? You've done 4 dry fire tests and it's worked 4 times. That's
Yes.
That's a pretty impressive success rate.
All right.
Okay, I guess we'll load it up and
Go to the pool.
All right, we're at the top secret testing facility. Shark is in the water. He's going to be shooting towards our camera, hopefully.
And ready?
Ready.
Shoot 2-1. We have a dry fire.
Misfire.
Shoot 2.
Oh, that is nice. Oh, it
We
shot.
have a hang fire.
Yeah. Oh, look at it. It's tooling around on the bottom there. Oh, it's still going.
It's in the search pattern.
Yeah. It's reacquired you.
I acquired the wrong boat.
Interesting.
That was interesting. Yeah.
That jumped out of the water right in front of the camera. I'll be interested to see what that looks like on film.
That's pretty wild.
So tube 2 was hot, straight, and normal. Like really hot, straight, and normal.
Yeah.
All right, so that torpedo's gonna wash out there. I'm gonna go get it. Do you want to reload with my torpedoes? Okay, we're gonna test my old torpedoes and see how they do. All right, Shark is in the water, loaded with my old 48 scale torpedoes with a little tiny orifice versus the larger orifice that Ed was running. So we'll see what the difference is.
Ready? She's armed. And 2-1.
Well, you know, it's not a... It wouldn't take much for someone to outrun it, but it works.
2-2.
Oh, look at that one.
Well, there's a certain fun randomness to this, which I'm kind of liking.
You know, the interesting thing, you could see when it was ejecting liquid versus when it was ejecting air.
Yes.
There is a huge difference in speed.
Yes.
Because in mine, I've got the pickup tube in the nose.
Okay.
So when it was down, it was shooting liquid, and then when it came back up, it started shooting the gas out.
The gas.
Interesting.
So, as gas is expelled, okay, it's going to go faster and faster because 2 things. That point where you stop, because when you fill it with liquid, that tube will always be under.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have yet to wonder how they make those spray cans that spray from any
Both
direction.
directions, yeah.
Yeah, so if we can figure that out,
Without massively complicated plumbing.
then we'd always get the gas. But now, until the liquid drops to the point that the siphon is above the liquid, you're getting that.
Mm-hmm.
So then, but she also loses weight, becomes more buoyant,
Yeah.
and goes faster.
All right, I got to find my other torpedo. I can see one of them way on the other side. I don't know where the other one went. Wonder if the skimmer sucked it up.
Yeah, I think I see it in the skimmer.
Okay, all right, let's go get it. She's good. That's where she wants to float, right there.
That's it. That's her.
All right,
All right.
you ready?
I'm going to give a little forward.
Yep.
be good.
All right, here we go. You ready to shoot?
Just about.
Man battle stations torpedo.
Okay, you can let it go. And
Southwest, L9.
2-1. Look at that, Bob, right to the bottom. And I have no gas.
Oh, I can go get my net.
Okay.
So, your launcher was super reliable. Out of 6 shots, we had one dry fire that
It was-
ended up
yeah,
turning
it was-
into a real shot.
Yeah.
So it didn't not shoot.
Delayed
Fire, yeah.
The hang fire.
So I'd say your launcher is actually super reliable. But looking at the footage, and I'm sure if I'm feeling up to it, I can splice this in so we can all look at it right now. Under the water, we had a couple bubbles, right?
Yes.
Coming out of the tubes.
We had a little leak.
Yeah.
A bubble or two every now and then. You know, it's not Six Sigma quality we're talking here. No, this is Ed in his shop on a hot Texas afternoon.
So why is that important? We talked about this, right?
Yeah.
Because if you charge up and go out on patrol, if you wait to attack like 10, 15 minutes for the perfect shot, you might have a little dribble of gas left, right?
Yeah.
Potentially. So if you watch the footage, Q footage, the weapon gets fired out of the tube and immediately arcs upward, whether you're in surface trim or submerged trim. Obviously, this was a little more problematic in submerged trim because it was virtually vertical. I think by the time it left the water, in the submerged shots. I think what I'm thinking is, kind of the next phase of experimentation with this is to add ballast weight to the torpedoes. But this would need to be established at the time of construction. You can't be like, I think I need to add a little more weight.
I was experimenting with that section up forward, the buoyancy section. My idea, I thought these things were actually going to float nose up for some reason, but they float horizontal. So I made one where the dry section up forward was maybe 1/4 of an inch, and the other was 3/4 of an inch. Just experimenting. We found that the larger internal tank volume, we call them chip, ran better than the one where I reduced, increased the volume in the nose longer, thereby decreasing the volume of the holding reservoir, the tank itself. That ran poorer than the other one. Until you, the user, decide to follow through with this and do the trimming, they're problematic from a submerged. If you enjoy shooting them from the surface trim.
And really, let's be honest here. Like, torpedoes are really nothing but, in RC submarines, are nothing but eye candy for spectators.
Yeah.
Right? That's all it is. It's to show off to people, and there's value to that. There's personal enjoyment doing it from an engineering perspective, and then there's the ability to show off what you did. And this is a perfect example. So we talked about this before, and I've hammered this into everybody's brains so many times. I like the way that Ed put it earlier on. Everything in life is about like investment or risk versus reward.
Risk reward.
And it's the same with submarines. Is all of that work and effort worth the ability to shoot off a torpedo and have people say, yeah, that's super cool? For a lot of people, yes. And I'm going to say most of those people are going to be newbies.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because newbies are always about the features. They want everything. Periscopes and lights and missiles and torpedoes and sound and, all of this stuff because it's all super cool. Experienced submariners will be like, you know what? I want it to work and work perfectly, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, It's something that you would need to decide is worth or not worth the time and investment for implementation, experimentation, modification, testing, and constant tweaking, likely.
Exactly. Here's a better way to look at it. Out of all the users we know, all the sub-drivers out there,
Brilliant people, some of them.
how many have really done it? I know Mike, Dave Merriman, Mike Dory, Dave Merriman, Gene Berger.
Here's a better question. How many of them have done it but don't currently have it in any of their
Yes.
boats? Yeah, they could do it if they wanted to, but they elected not to.
Right. So I guess the discussion here is, are operational torpedoes in your RC submarine worth it? Or is it worth it to you?
Yeah, only you can answer that question. Yeah, and I've used this term before. Just remember, every additional system or function you add to your submarine results in an exponential increase in the probability of any one of those systems failing at any given time. So just ask yourself, is this risk worth the reward at the end? And then you'll decide whether or not putting torpedoes in your boat is worth it. So it is Saturday, day after torpedo testing. We are at Sylvan Rodriguez Park here in kind of South Houston. Beautiful here. We're actually thinking a regatta here would be a really cool thing. Ed and I were just talking. If you take a look at this water, it is perfectly clear. It's maybe, I don't know, 18 inches deep right here with like a 8-foot ledge that goes out and then drops off. But we're here with a bunch of boat guys. That's okay, we won't hold it against them. Ed's got the Crick U-boat, and I've got Chuckles. And we're gonna drop them in the water. Nathan Evans is here too. He's got his permit newly refitted. He's gonna be trying that out again. So I think we're gonna have a good time. So Ed's got his Crick U-boat, which is wood, right?
Yeah, it's a wood. We spoke about the history the last time,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
This was owned by Jim Butt, then Joe Oliver, and then I got a hold of it to replace my lost one from '91. It is. It's 3-plank. I think they called it Obichi pine, some kind of pine that you would glue together, and then you had to carve with a big old automotive cheese grater or whatever.
Wow.
And the top was wood. I replaced with Lexan. And since the last iteration, we had, because I was trying to size the motors to the original propellers, and I just based it on no load RPM, 1300 kV motors. I started with way overpowered, as you saw.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing.
Hydroplaned. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm down to 850s, and I replaced the speed controllers. It is independent throttle, so using one stick I can go left, right, forward, and reverse. And while it may not turn in its own diameter, it will tighten a curve if it gets out of somebody's way. So that's good. We tested it. Also, the battery's no longer 12 volt, 1.2 amp hour battery, 6 volt in series giving you 12 volt. It is now 8,000 milliamp hour 3S battery.
Gotcha.
So what did we run this? An hour last time? We were bored?
Yeah. And what I love is this attention to detail. You notice the two speed controllers, we got port and starboard lights, just so you know which one is doing what. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to pop it in water today and check its performance. We do have telemetry. So right now we have the RSSI is 100 decibels. The onboard voltage is 12.6. The receiver is 4.96. And as I draw a current, I can see how much current is being drawn off the battery.
There you go.
Which helps estimate. Now I can drive this thing to sleepy voltage. Stop it, and I don't have to lower it to storage voltage.
Oh, there you go. Yep. So we were having a blast out here today. We had Ed's boat out. We're performing really well with all of his modifications, and lots of people were interested in Chuckles the Shark. Kids absolutely loved it. Parents absolutely loved it. So I'm just glad I had a chance to bring it out today. The weather turned out to be beautiful. It was a little cold, cloudy out this morning, but weather smartened up. And despite the fact it being a little windy, it was still a beautiful day to run. So I think we're going to finish things up. We'll see how Ed's doing and what Nathan's doing. So we are on our way back from Houston back up to the Woodlands, and had a good time. What do you think? Oh, it's always a good time at Fitz's flotilla of fun. But one big takeaway, and you prompted this, I think that would be a perfect venue for a Houston Subfest.
Absolutely.
So the water, at least at this time of year, was super clear, about 18 inches at the shore, with an 8-inch, flat concrete part, and then it goes into the deep water. There's a fountain in the middle, covered picnic area, washrooms, big parking lot. I think that could be made to work. We'll get some food trucks in there, and hotels nearby, restaurants nearby, entertainment nearby. 40 minutes away is the Galveston Naval Museum with that submarine that I toured. And 10 minutes away is NASA. So, we could have all sorts of cool field trips lined up. So, yeah, we've got to put some thought into that.
It is a beautiful venue. Like I said, the water, to borrow a phrase from a compatriot at the diatribe, gin clear. Okay?
At least now.
It's a man-made reflecting pond, but with a natural bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very nice. It's certainly large enough for the biggest boat.
Oh yeah.
Easy concrete bulkhead launch. I can't say, and the water at the launch is deep enough for the largest boats.
Absolutely, yeah. Now we just got to figure out when. It sounds like Subfest Kahata is on for 2024, which would probably be September, 3rd, 4th week of September. So yeah, we just got to. It's kind of a neat time of year here right now. It's a little cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we need to look at like March or April.
Yeah, a spring. I think a March or April wouldn't be out, sort of a 6-month out from September.
Yeah.
We can have a twice a year Subfest.
Yeah. September and March. And then we just got to figure out something for the West Coast.
Yes.
But anyhow, it was a great day. Windy, a little cool, but all in all, just another great time. Your U-boat ran really, really well.
We're tweaking that in, and I got to run Chuckles. And I tell you, running this RC Shark is phenomenal. It's all fun, no work. And,
there's probably
I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it. It's not politically correct. It's a chick magnet. They may be older, but it's a chick magnet.
That's true. Yeah, I think about 4 or 5 different people actually put their hands on the sticks today, and all of them had a great time. Probably, I'd say there's like a 5 or 10 minute learning curve.
Yeah, if that. It's almost natural. I felt it was almost. Oh yeah, swinging back and forth, little swinging back and forth.
Yeah.
And he turns within his own length. It's a joy. It was a joy to operate. It's all fun.
Crowd pleaser. People just love it. Like it'd be kind of fun to have like 4 or 5 of those.
Yes.
All out at the same time. The hunting pack of sharks.
Especially when he who must not be named puts his boat in the water.
And there you go. So yeah, there we go. We had a great time. We throw those in the water. Saw a lot of some of our friends and everything from that we've met on a regular basis here. But on our way back now. Ed's got to collect a model, and then we're gonna head back up.
Yeah.
I think that about wraps it up for this week.
Always a ball. Hang out with always fun. And you guys gotta come join us.
Yes, come on down. Absolutely. All right, everyone. You guys have a great rest of your weekend, and catch you next time.